Haikyuu, the Perpetual Underdog. Looking at this volleyball series, it would be easy to assume the main protagonists, Karasuno, are the team that will receive the audience attention. After all, Karasuno are featured in Weekly Shonen Jump, a manga magazine that targets the young boy or shonen demographic. A staple of manga appealing to these customers is a group of individuals with a plucky young boy at the centre, rising up against tough, intimidating opponents. And yet, Haruto Furudate, the mangaka of Haikyuu, is more interested in presenting the merits of both competing teams, their struggles, aspirations, friendships, and personal growth. Now, to preface this video's discussion, I fully acknowledge that other Weekly Shonen Jump series such as Kuroko no Basket, Slam Dunk, and Robot X Laser Beam break this mold as well. However, I believe Haikyuu goes above and beyond, which is what I'll be attempting to demonstrate. Maybe successfully, maybe unsuccessfully, who knows, it's only my first video. I think there is something to be said about how the series built up a fated rematch between our protagonists and Oyaba High over the course of 2 seasons, only to find that in said rematch, Oyaba are characterized in such an endearing way that the viewer switches sides mid-game. This is in spite of the fact that the viewer knows Oyaba has no chance of winning. For example, Furudate allows you to empathize and understand Oiko's inferiority complex against the immovable, powerful Ushijima. After several severe losses, he lets himself start to believe that natural talent would triumph over any and all efforts. So it is revealed that while Oiko is famous for his setting ability, raw talent isn't solely responsible for his success. He trains immensely hard, working towards self-improvement. Yet Ushijima was a dominating force of unreserved skill, someone who penetrated Oiko's beliefs and shattered them. These showdowns in the past played a large role in diminishing his love for volleyball. However, the fierce confrontation with Karasuno lit a spark in Oiko that re-revitalized his passion for improvement. His words, ring true, and serve as inspiration in that last decisive point, one which he was ironically destined to lose. But nonetheless, I found myself actively rooting for Oiko through the lens of Furudate's touching character narrative, based around the struggle to overcome impossible limitations. And yes, he and Oyaba lost, but the audience can take some comfort in knowing that they'll come back stronger and ready to prove Shiro Torizawa Academy wrong in the coming years. This is a major theme that reoccurs through several opponents that Karasuno face. But this isn't an isolated incident. One of my favourite uses of this narrative technique was in the match between Jozenji High and Karasuno. The former story was primarily centered around the loss of motivation, often referred to as the party team. Jozenji loves to have a good time on the court, playing in an erratic, free-flowing style to emphasize trying out new things. On the surface, this simply means that they have a difficult to play against offense, but a resoundingly weak defense lineup. Diving deeper, Furudate reveals that this party spirit may be the product of a lack of belief in their ability to win, choosing to have a fun time on the court instead of wallowing in the feeling of defeat. It's an avoidance mechanism in a sense. During the match with Karasuno, we find out that Jozenji lacked a strong foundation after the leadership group and several third years transitioned, leaving no one to inspire confidence. Their previous motto, simplicity and fortitude, was undermined because these first and second year players didn't have someone to provide that push. In this vein, we primarily follow Hana Mitsuki, a third year manager of the team who struggles to speak up and encourage the boys. Her internal conflict concludes in a proud moment of resolute determination, where she energizes the team and forces them to take the final point seriously. In that moment, I was once again cheering for the opposition, because the series made me aware of their issues, chose a unique point of view in Hana, whose goal was about empowering her team, and then capitalized on that passion, with Jozenji putting in an admirable effort towards the end. And finally, we have Shiro Torizawa and Ushijima himself, the formidable squad who's at the top of the Miyagi Prefecture and intersects with many character conflicts. They are an offensive powerhouse that blasts through any opponent. Like quite literally, all you see of their team throughout 2 entire seasons is But once their feet hit the courts, Karasuno's fated match with Shuro Torizawa morphs into a battle between two underdogs. Yes, two underdogs. Furudate rapidly shifts the attention between select players on both sides, allowing the audience equal time to become invested in either team. Semi Eta was the primary setter, until he was replaced by Shirobu. Grimacing with frustration, he initially wasn't fond of this change, that seemed to relegate his efforts to the background. Despite this, he learns to appreciate that Shirobu is a fantastic, versatile setter, perfectly suited to Ushijima, but also that by losing his position, he can help out Shuro Torizawa in another important way. Through pinch serving, he finds a newfound confidence and belief in volleyball, making him incredibly likable. I was cheering this guy on when he put Karasuno's defense into disarray, hoping he would get another point to validate his thoughts. And the crazy thing is, he's a disposable background character. Nothing more, nothing less. Ushijima is the thread that holds all these characters together, and while he may not be that interesting, his presence has a profound effect. When his trusted Spike falls to the wayside for a portion of the match, the other members like Tendo step up to the plate. Furudate once again shows the persistent struggles of the opposition, and thus the attention on Karasuno starts to shift, if only briefly, to that of a strong foe. In all of these examples, one thematic narrative is consistently highlighted. That is the humanization of the antagonists. They are always underdogs because they are always so incredibly easy to root for. Furudate treats every antagonist as if they are real people, moving away from standard caricatures and unbelievable villainy. It's what I find so appealing about Haikyuu, and why even as Karasuno head to nationals, I still find myself looking to the other side of the court.